welcome to No Skips. This is the show where we talk about the albums where you put them on and you don't skip a song. Today, we are talking about an album that came out in 2005. I feel like we do that year a lot, but it was a great year for music. We are talking about the album from the Fray called How to Save a Life. Now, I got to tell you, the first time I ever saw the Fray, they were doing a live show, and I didn't see them in person, but I saw them on TV doing this live show, and they were playing their song, Over My Head Cable Car. That was the first time I saw them. And the thing that I love about the Fray is that as a kid who didn't know much, I always looked at when a band had a piano involved that they were going to be a slow band, that like the songs were going to be slow and sad and boring. That's how I thought as a kid. I don't feel that way anymore. When I see a piano, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Let's see what they do with it. You know what I mean? Or when I see strings involved in a song, I'm like, that's kind of cool. Let's see what they do with it, right? Because we're not going to pay that musician to come out and do nothing. Obviously, they have something to add to this. But as a child, okay, I was not thinking like that. And when the Fray came out, it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, whoa, this is a cool band. I like the way they incorporate everything. Yes, it is piano rock, but it's good. It's really, really good. And so this is a band that I feel like a lot of us that grew up in the early 2000s, we know their music, we can quote their music, and we probably know more of their songs than maybe we would, be able to relay. Okay. But this album is a no skips album. How to Save a Life is a no skips album. Let's talk about the singles off of this one. Okay. Because this one came out in September of 2005. It is 45 minutes and 56 seconds. So we're going to call it 46 minutes on this show. And here were the singles. The first single, Over My Head Cable Car. Second single, How to Save a Life. Third single, Look After You. Fourth song, All at Once. That was the fourth single from the album. And kind of like I talked about on the last episode, this album came out in 2005, but they were still releasing singles off this thing in 2007. So that's how much, runway, I guess you would say, they got out of this thing. How much mileage they got out of this thing. So kudos to them on that. But as far as the other songs on this that I love, that I really, really love, She Is, which is the first song on the album. I really love that song. It's kind of like, when you finally found that person and you start to realize like, oh my goodness, like they are that person. That's this song. And I don't know why this song isn't played more in like romantic movies and things like that, but man, is it a good song. But She Is, that's the first track in the album. It's a great one. Check that one out. I also will say I love all the singles. I love all the singles on this one. Another song that I really enjoyed was Vienna. That was a very, very good song. I really like that song. And Heaven Forbid as well. But there are 12 tracks on this thing. And again, 4 songs ended up being singles off of this album. So I'm not sure, how I'm going to be able to get this to the Fray fans out there. But if you are a Fray fan, I'm curious, did you skip any songs on this album? And when it first came out, did you skip any songs? Or were you like, I can't get enough of this band? Because that's kind of how I felt. I felt like I can't get enough of this band. They're different. Because you got to think, at the time, I was into hard rock. I was into hard rock. I was into pop punk. I was into rap. Those were the 3 genres I really gravitated towards as a young kid moving into my teenage years. And so this was like completely different than the stuff I was usually into, which is why I was like, I can't get enough of this. I want to, find more bands like the Fray, which I will tell you, there's not a whole lot of other bands that do what the Fray does. That's why they're, beloved. But I will say that as of late, their lead singer, he has actually left the band after many, many years of touring and recording with the band. Isaac Slade has decided to step away as of earlier this year. And the reason why I know that is because I live in upstate New York, like 5 minutes from Canada. And the Fray was supposed to come down, and I think they did come down and play the Syracuse New York State Festival. And I was excited about it because I was like, oh, maybe I should go and like watch that concert. And I probably still should have. But once I found out that the lead singer wasn't a part of it anymore and he wasn't going to be playing at that show, I kind of was like, yeah, maybe I'll check it out at a different point in time once I see if I like the new singer. Because I am one of those people, and I'm evolving as a person, okay? But I am one of those people who, when they change the front man to a band, it's like, this is either going to be really good or this is where I exit the stage in a way. But again, we'll see who ends up being the new lead singer. Maybe they've already figured it out. I'm not sure. But I do love this album. I love this album. Again, it's How to Save a Life from the Fray from the year 2005. It is 46 minutes long, and I think it is definitely worth your time. This is one that I like to play whenever I'm writing scripts, by the way. And I know some of you don't know this, but I make movies. And if you've been following me for a long time, you already knew that. But this is an album that I will play when I'm trying to write a serious scene. I will play this album and it helps me figure it out, for lack of a better term. But anyway, if you check this album out, maybe you already have, and maybe you give it a re-listen because of this episode. Thank you very much for that, by the way. Let me know if you skipped any songs in the comments below. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it, and that helps me out more than y'all know, commenting, liking, and subscribing. So please do that. It's free to do that. And like I said, it helps me out a great deal. With all that being said, my friends, be good to yourself, be good to others in that order. I'll see you soon.